Hello and assalamu alaikum to all of you. Today is Earth Day and it is being celebrated throughout the world today. The theme of this Earth Day is Restore Our Earth, and we all know that everybody who is engaged with action for environment have worked a lot for adaptation and mitigation measures. But now if it is the time for restoration, that's why the Earth Needs Love and Eco Club Bangladesh in partnership with Earth Day organization have come up with a webinar on clean energy, a step towards Earth restoration, keeping in view the importance of renewable energy when it comes to restoring our Earth. For this webinar, we have a very special speaker from Bangladesh, Ms. Evi Akhtar. She is an Eco Club Bangladesh coordinator. She has completed her bachelor's in environmental sciences and disaster management. Currently, she is working as a researcher, and her area of interest include climate action, clean energy, water and sanitation, waste management, and antibiotic resistance. Beside all of this, she is an environmentalist, activist, youth advocate on water and climate, and founding member of Energy Environment of Bangladesh. Of course. So, Abby, you can go with your presentation. It is already visible to the audience, and audience can ask questions in the Facebook comment session that will be answered by you after the session. So, Abby, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mariam. It was really a nice and overwhelming introduction. So, happy Earth Day to each and every individual who dreams of having a more greener and sustainable environment and showing the courage to work for it. With due respect to the theme of the Earth Day 2021, which is Restore Our Earth, and by keeping in mind the importance of clean energy for a sustainable environment, I will try to have some discussion on the importance of clean energy, which will lead to us in a step towards Earth restoration. So without further ado, let's start. Well, let's start with the overview of energy and its global impact. As we know, as its simplest form, energy is the ability to do work. Energy is something which is moving around our universe, and it can be found in any form as energy, and basically energy is designated according to the source of its generation. So about the forms, it can be electrical energy, thermal energy, light energy, solar energy. Energy have various types of forms. Now, there are basically two sources of energy. The first one is non-renewable energy source, which is also known as dirty energy. Non-renewable means if the energy source cannot be renewable. That means we will get the source for a very limited time. The examples may include fossil fuels, liquid oils, coal, the natural gas, and also sometimes the nuclear energies. The another source of energy is renewable energy, which is also known as clean energy. Renewable means we can renew it and found in our nature. And this energy examples may include the solar energy, the wind energy, the geothermal energy, also the hydropower energy. Now, energy is very essential for our life. It is considered that energy, the efficient use of energy determine a country development, economic growth. So we need to before jumping into further discussion, first of all, we would have a look over the world primary energy consumption to see how much energy is generating or using throughout our world. So here we can see that basically China is the first holding the first place in terms of using the energy. The second place is taken by the United States. And China is it's considered that China and the United States represent 40% of global energy consumption. And if we see that the energy they are using, the majority of primary energy fuels is derived from fossil fuels. Fossil fuels mean the non-renewable energy source. Again, let's have a look over the world energy consumption by fuel type and its sector. If we see on the picture, we can see that in picture A, at macro level, that means local levels, liquid fuels, natural gas, and coal supply over 80% of the energy consumed. That means the overall energy sector is dominated by the non non-renewable source, which is also known as fossil fuels. And the renewable energy and nuclear energy taken some significant portion, not that much regarding to renewable source, non-renewable source. In the second picture, we can see that which industries or sectors are actually contributing to the energy sector, like from which sectors which sector are using these renewable or non-renewable energies. We can see that industrial use in the graph and transportation account for 80% of the energy consumed globally. That means these two sectors, transportation and industrial, are the basic dominant consumer or producer of energy sector. Now, why? Energy seems to be important for development. Much of the energy we use produce in ways that are harmful to the environment. Why I said that? Because we nowadays, from a decade, we are concerned about the climate change. We are concerned about the adverse impacts related to environment happening in our surroundings. Do you know that these calamities, this climate change have influenced by the energy sector, and studies have found that about 73% of greenhouse gas emission, which is the main responsible for global warming. So the main reason of global warming, the greenhouse gases, energy sectors taken energy sector produces 73% of greenhouse gases, and thus it's contribute to the climate change, the adverse impact of climate change we are getting now. And this is happening because of the non-renewable energy sources, which I mentioned as the dirty energy as well. So now we look on the facts that why we are calling this non-renewable energy as a dirty source of energy and why they are contributing to the global warming. First of all, as I said, that non-renewable energy includes the fossil fuels, which is dominated by the natural gas, coal, oil. So it is the formation of fossil fuels that when we will burn it in power plant, energy basically we use the power plant. So the mechanism of power plants that we need to burn the fossil fuels. So when we burn the fossil fuels, there is a generation of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, which is the main component of greenhouse gas emission. So here is the picture. We can see that how the methane is the hydrocarbon, which is reacting with the oxygen and producing carbon dioxide in our environment. So in fossil fuel, we can see that the coal, which is the main culprit of fossil fuel and the main culprit of endangering our environment, no matter it is air quality, it is water quality, it is soil quality. Coal is the main culprit, which is making all this mess within the energy sector. After coal, it is the diesel and heating oil, and then the natural gas. So basically, all of these three components used as a primary source in power plants, and we know power plants are from where we getting the energies, electricity, more precisely. Sorry, okay, I have made a mistake. So after fossil fuels, so let's have that why this coal or the natural gas or oil is concerning to us. Let's have a look. Studies have showed that coal-fired power stations emit over 10 gigaton of carbon dioxide each year, almost 1/5 of the total emissions, and it is the single largest source of the greenhouse gases, which also show particles. Those particles, those contribute to, they are not only creating greenhouse gas emission, they are also contributing to air pollution by shooting particles like ash, heavy metals, radioactive isotopes, hydrocarbons, sulfates, nitrates. Those are the main culprit of polluting our environment. And also, these coal-fired power plants, when transporting and depositing the coal power plants, they remain their footprint to thousands of kilometers. Then what they are doing, the power plants, we are using coal as a primary source. They are creating thermal pollution. What is thermal pollution? Thermal pollution means that our power plants needs more water to cool down as there is so much mechanism going on. So when they discard those hot water in the nearby river, as you may look that most of the power plants are situated near the river side. So when they discard the waste, the hot water in the nearby river side, the sudden change happens within the environment, the aquatic environment. The organisms, the aquatic organisms, species, flora, fauna are get affected, seriously affected by the discard of the waste. The another thing is that we are mining this, extracting this coal, natural gas, as they are present in our environment. We are extracting them. So this also causing the land to get fragile, the lands to get weak, and it also creating land pollution. Another thing is that the mining, extracting and transporting of fossil fuels often turned into some accidental events like oil spilling in the water or the mining creating dust. So these things also ultimately endangering our environment, because they are considering those elements, those are very harmful for our environment. So as a example, if we look on the one of the most, we not one of the most, this is the first developed country and the strongest economy in the current world, the United States as an example. They are also suffering from the um, fossil fuels burning. Like, let's have a look on the data that about if our electricity generation from fossil fuel is responsible for 37% of carbon dioxide, which is the as I mentioned is the main component, main ingredient of greenhouse gas emission. They are contributing 37% of the carbon dioxide emission. Again, 66% of the sulfur dioxide are emitting from the coal-based power plants in United States. 40% of the mercury contributing to the contamination of soil and waterways. We know that mercury is basically um, emitted from the coal-based power plants, and also 25% of nitrogen oxide, which react with sunlight and creating which is also responsible for creating acid rain, depletion of ozone layer and smoke. Here is the chart. We can see that from fossil fuels, so many accidents are happening and people are dying. Like from coal, about from 1968 to 2011, several people have died. So these are some reports, so those are recorded. So there are numerous more, like people are still, people who work on those coal-based power plants or natural gas power plants, they have serious environment, serious mental issues, they have serious health issues, they are suffering for their lifetime. So just imagine the United States, the strongest economies in the world, are facing, are traveling with the generation of fossil fuels. So what will happen to the low-income countries, to the middle-income countries? This is terrifying. So as now we have seen that the fossil fuels we are using, the coal, the natural gas, the oil, so they are not the solution. They are not the solution at all. So as I said about the renewable energy sources, as this also remains in our environment, then why I'm talking about renewable energy sources? To know, let's have a look. That my title is Clean Energy Will Accelerate the Process of Restoration of Our Mother Earth. To define my this statement, I would like to show some importance or show some benefits of using renewable energy sources like the solar energy, the wind energy, the geothermal energy, why we should use it and replace it with the non-renewable energy sources. First of all, they emit no or less greenhouse gas, which is the major thing we need to ensure for a developed, for a sustainable, for a balanced environment. Studies has shown that where coal emits 1.4 and 3.6 pounds of carbon dioxide, wind, which is the renewable energy source, is responsible for only 0.2 to 0.4 pounds of carbon dioxide on its life cycle basis. And same goes with the solar plant. So we can ensure that if we, from all the we policy makers, from all our governments, if they ensure and help other least developed countries to ensure the implementation of clean energy sources like the solar energy, they if they promote the solar energy, if they promote the wind energy technologies, then we can ensure that yes, we can get a source where no emission will be happen further. The second thing that is the positive thing of renewable energy, it emits no or low air pollutants. Yes, that's true. A study on 2009 UCS analysis found that a 25% by 2015 National Renewable Electricity Standard would lower power plant carbon dioxide emission about 277 million metric tons annually. So just imagine if we if we promote the use of clean energy to all the level, to all the countries, regardless their economic strength, regardless their development. So we can also ensure that there will be less air pollutants. Again, it comes with low cost. Now, though it may seem to many countries, especially for the least developed countries, there's no renewable energy is so much costly. We can just put up solar power plants or wind energy. But trust me, if we promote and if we influence the stakeholders, the strongest economic countries, if we make this available, the cost will be low and it will be more affordable to people, and which is also our environmental friendly. The another thing about the renewable energy is that it helps in creating economic development and jobs in manufacturing, installation, and more. Yes, it will create local um, job placements, and already 11 million people are working under this renewable energy scheme. So it's definitely good for the local community. The another thing is that this renewable energy makes energy system resilient. There is less pollution. There is less air pollutant emission. So the all things is coming to a balance in a calmness. So that's important to prevent power shortages, as it's law. It's ensure the renewable energy ensure long lifetime availability, and there is no fear of that my energy is going to finish. No, as it's present in our environment and we can renew it, so it's more convenient and more resilient to use and implement. And yes, accessible to all. If we can promote clean energy to that level, we can ensure that it will be accessible regardless the climate change impacts to all. And finally, it is secure. Obviously, it is secure as we get the chance that if we plant a solar energy plant, then it will give energy production till then the sun is in our favor. So these kinds of things. So last of all, I would like to say that we need to ensure a pollution-free environment for ourselves, for our better generation, for a better generation, to provide a better environment to our future generation. This pandemic has learned us a deep lesson, which is that the earth don't need us. It can heal itself, no matter if we human exist or not. We, the human beings, need the earth to sustain, to survive. We need a better environment only for ourselves, because no matter what we do, what the damage we are doing to our environment is just keep back to us. It's getting back to us. It's affecting us. The environment, we are creating mess in one part of the environment is healing in another part. But the ultimate thing is happening to us. The effect is going on us. So, with the increase of population, urbanization, and the what I can say, that the population will keep happening, the industry will keep growing, the energy demand will keep increasing. So we cannot deny it, and energy is something we cannot live without. So what we need to do, for our existing and our future generation, we need to adopt clean energy technology. That is the only way we can restore our mother nature. And yes, that's all from me. That yes, we cannot prevent the damage we have already done, but yes, we can mitigate the potentiality of the future adverse effects. And by saying this, and again, wishing everyone a happy Earth Day, I am ending my presentation. Thank you. So if you have any question, you can just write down on the comment section. Inshallah, I will be here to reply your comments. Thank you.
A very wonderful presentation, Evie. It was very to the point and
Thank
very
you.
interesting and very well done. So audience can
Thank
ask any question related to the topic in the comment section as you
you.
mentioned, and yeah, you can raise them directly. And thank you so much, Evie, for sparing your time for the organization as well for the audience.
From next time, first of all, we would say Bismillah. Okay, that was the thing we was missing. I know I didn't say Bismillah and all this happened. So, inshallah, from next I will try to do more better. And yeah, thank you. You were so helpful. Thank you.